you're very successful. It's incredible. In a year, you built a ridiculously large membership of people all over the world paying you every single month. You ever thought about that? That's crazy, And but how big do you want to grow? There's a give and there's a take, and you have to figure out how far do you want to push it. Like, I know people with 10,000 people in their membership. They're CEOs. They're running the show. You know what I mean? That's a big deal. Like, how big do you want it? Like, do you want it to double, triple, or do you want to just keep that steady growth going, stick around 1,000 people? And like how big do you want it to be?
Yeah, such a good question, and one that we kind of got on that path of bigger is better, bigger, more. And then we had a random lunch here on the Gold Coast with
Brian Clark.
Yeah, I was like, what's his name? Brian Clark. And he questioned it. He was like, do you really want to grow your business that big? Because as you just said, there is a give. So what does it mean when you have staff of 80 people, extra responsibility, extra pressure? And he kind of told us his whole life story, and we were like, whoa, that was a massive life lesson you just gave us. But also this was pre-Mary Body membership.
Yeah, and I think it was a great question, because you kind of just as entrepreneurs, you're always bigger is better, and more is more, and we just got to keep striving and keep going, and get more members and all of this. But yeah, that really made us stop and wonder, what do we want? And how do we want to live our lives? But we have a current goal of 3,000 members, which is that $1 million number. And I think that, right now that is the goal that we're looking at. But then one time I wrote down 30,000 members, on a piece of paper, and I don't know why, I just did. And so then I'm like, do I want that? Or do I want 3,000? Because that's a big difference. So I think that right now our goal is that 3,000 mark. And then I think it'll be that kind of, once we're there, it'll be a check-in. What do we want now? Do we want to keep growing, or is this where we want to be? And I think it's a consistent thing that we should all be doing, checking in with our goals, because sometimes we get so stuck on the 5-year goal, the 10-year goal, but the thing is they change all the time. They could change on a monthly basis, and I think it's important that we check in. We don't get so stuck on our goals, because sometimes when we get stuck on our goals, we miss where we are.
Well, I think we miss out on all the magic, and we forget, and we stay so. And I mean, as entrepreneurs, you do need to zone in on your where you want to go, but we can't miss out on all the magic of life. And there's so much more than just business. And I mean, that's why we all do this, right? To create lives that we love, not just thriving, amazing, successful businesses. We have to look after all the other things, the relationships, the health, the joy factor. If you're not enjoying the process of getting to that goal, I think it's wait a minute, is that goal even worth it? Because if you're not enjoying the steps, what's the bloody point? Because that's the whole life. It's not just this end point. You don't just do the stuff to get to the end. You do the stuff, for the sake of the action, for the sake of the work. That's the magic of running a business. It's every single step, even the hardships.
Especially a membership, because you can turn off the membership, and I was paddleboarding tonight while Jocelyn was swimming. And you know what? Members were paying me and watching my courses, and this was all happening in the background. And it's a crazy thing that happens around 500 members, because around 500 members, you realize, and this is almost true across the board from anybody that's ever been through our program, when they get to 500 members, they realize they can probably get as many members as they want. If you want 3,000, our goal is 100,000 members. That's
wow.
No, I don't know if that would ever happen all at once. I think it could. I know people that have, I have a friend who has 150,000 members. You do realize around 500 or 600 members, I could probably set any goal and get there if I'm willing to pay that price, if I'm willing to make that trade, if I'm willing to do things differently or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it's tempting. It's extremely tempting when you have the whole world in front of you to go get the world, But then again, it's also possible to stop wherever you want, slowly grow, a couple let's grow 5% a month and just forget about it. It's also possible to do that. And so like, it is really, really important to figure out what you want out of your membership. No other business model can give you the exact life you want, like having a membership. Now you guys, you have around 1,000 members. You can go to the beach. You can still check in twice a day. You can still manage the community yourself. You don't have to have a lot of people help, or do you go to 3,000 members? Then what do? You hire a community manager, but that's cool. But you want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. We always say it's all one big compromise. Like, having your own business and quitting that steady, stable job, which doesn't really exist. But like, that's a compromise. And then there's compromises in every single decision that we make. And whether that is growing or not growing, there's compromise both, pros and cons, always. So it is just about checking in. But who knows where we'll be? Like, I always I'm just excited to see where this journey takes us. And I'm always open for change as well. I think that's one big thing that we've learned, like, the pivot. Like, it's all right to pivot. And I think I'm not going to be afraid of that. If, a new idea comes, I always wonder, I'm like, well, are we going to get new ideas soon? Like, because how you get all these new ideas. I haven't had a new idea in a while.
Well, I think
I just wanted to make Merrybody happen.
Which is so cool. Like when you're so like kind of obsessed with something and you love it so much that you just want to see that grow. I think that's the best feeling ever when
you guys have built in retention is what we call it. Like you can if you're into Pilates and yoga, you can't wait for the next class. And then and also too, like you can learn new skills and do different things in your next classes. So you've got this weird, it's the same, but it can be different any way you want it. And like and you can mold that within inside of, I think that's why I like membership so much is like, I hear you guys, like I get to every week talk to people who run a different kind of membership. And it just it never gets old. And it's the same thing with your Pilates class and your yoga. Like it can be different and it can change and you can do different things, Yeah,
we actually in the membership we call Mondays like Merry Mondays because that's when the new class comes out and everyone is so excited about the new class and we're all talking about the new class and everyone's always like, I thought you'd run out of moves soon, but there you go with the new move. Like there you
How'd
go
you
with this
do
new
that?
thing how did I know how to move that way? And I think it's so true. Like the options are endless, and you can just keep changing it up. And that's what we continue to do. Like ourselves, like we continue to learn. Like we're not stagnant in our practice. Like we go and we learn from other teachers, and we bring all that inspiration back into Merrybody. And I think because we do love the practice so much, it's what we do, and it so easily translates into the membership. Like it's really exciting.
I mean, like even like talking about it, it's such a cool realization to be like, wow, like we've created this thing, this membership, just doing what we love.